Okay, well, good evening, everybody. We will call to order the meeting for the Shenandoah City Council Wednesday, October 16th, 2019 at 7 p.m. Call the roll and notice that everybody is here with the exception of the Mayor Pro Temp, Charlie Brott, who did let us know that he wouldn't be here, so he is excused. We're standing and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and if you would like to stay standing, I'll say a quick invocation for us. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Lord, we come before you tonight and we just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the folks in this room. Thank you for all the people watching on YouTube, just everybody that takes an interest in their community and the community that they serve, whether they be staff or strategic partners, and just try to make this place a better place for everyone. We try to do all things we can to honor you. We try to make decisions that we know are correct and right. We're going to mess up, we're going to be imperfect, but we know you love us perfectly regardless. Pray these things in your Son's name, and all God's people said, Amen. Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Item 5 is the Citizens Forum, and we don't have a lot of folks here tonight, so no wonder I don't have anybody signed up to speak. However, if somebody shows up, they'll be more than welcome to come up and speak at the next Citizens Forum. So we'll move from there into council inquiry. Does anybody have anything they need to bring up right now? Nope. Okay. Then we will move to item 7, which is a presentation.
That's a take 7 and 8 are tabled. We've removed them from the agenda.
So we are going to remove 7 and 8 from the agenda, which gets us to item 9. And that's a presentation of a final plat of Metro Development. I believe, Jackie, you've got a presentation for us?
Yes, Council. The property owner for the Metro Development, being 2.203 acres, has submitted for a final plat. The plat has been reviewed by both staff and Blau Associates and recommended approval to the Planning and Zoning Commission, who reviewed this at their meeting on September 17th and have approved with the conditions listed in the agenda pack, which include the lot frontage coming into compliance, or the variance application for consideration and bonding of public infrastructure prior to recording.
Is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we will move to item 10, which is a public hearing regarding the final plat of Metro Development. We'll open the public hearing at 7:05. Would anybody like to speak during the public hearing? Okay, we'll close the public hearing then at 7:06. And we will move into item 11, which is discussion and possible action to approve the final plat for the Metro Development Office Building.
Motion to table.
I have a motion to table by Councilman Raymaker. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilman Christie. Do we have any discussion? Okay, all in favor of tabling?
Well, I guess my first question would be, why are we tabling?
So we do have some discussion. Councilman Raymaker, you want to?
I defer to legal counsel.
Well, we had an agreement we proposed to the owner regarding a variance, and it's We believe it's been agreed to, but we don't have the signed copy back.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, is that just, do we just want to table that tonight, or want to have some more discussion about it, considering what, I mean, if we've sent over the agreement that we proposed, are we asking them to sign the agreement that was in the agenda pack?
I didn't see the one in the agenda pack. I prepared one, they asked for changes, and then I agreed to we ended up agreeing to a changed one that, but that's for the variance. There's, the agreement is not, how do I say this? The agreement deals with the variance, not the plat.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, and then I asked Jackie if she couldn't get the developer together with Daniel Moon to work on that cross-access easement in the future.
We plan to do that.
Okay, all in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 to table. Item 12, discussion and possible action to award a contract for the Pine Cross Savannah Waterline projects.
Move to approve.
Second?
So I have a motion by Councilman Fletcher. I have a second by Councilman Raymaker. A move to approve. Do you have a particular contractor on the list that you?
I believe it's the one that was listed, was it
You
not?
see it in
Yeah,
here.
just wanna make-
The low
make sure
bid
it's
is East
okay.
Texas
Recommended
Utilities.
contractor.
Yeah,
So
recommended
contractor.
contractor.
Move to approve the recommended contractor, East Texas Utility Construction.
Do we have a discussion?
I just think it's fantastic. We came in so much under budget, and
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, and glad with both Lyle and all your work that you've done on this. And keep looking for ways to save money.
Absolutely, yeah, great
Thank you.
job. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 13, discussion and possible action to adopt the following resolution. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Shenandoah, Texas, appointing members to the Board of Directors of the Shenandoah Municipal Development District.
Council, if I could add, there was an oversight on the resolution. We accidentally left off Director Hoover, who is up for reappointment. That resolution that the mayor will sign has been corrected, and he is willing to continue serving and eligible too.
Yeah, so, and I can't pull my computer up to even have the agenda pack for whatever reason my computer's freaking out on me, but essentially, what I'm doing is recommending stepping down from the MDD board and placing Councilman Raymaker and Councilman Fletcher on the positions that will be, one will be termed out, and then myself that would be stepping down. So do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilman Raymaker. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilman Fletcher. Do we have any discussion? I'll say this, just because I know it's going through everybody's mind. This does not mean I'm going anywhere. That was not what this was. I thought that might be the situation, but I knew it could be addressed today. And to address it any sooner than that, I felt like would be a TOMA violation, since it would be an agenda item that y'all would be voting on. But look, I think Councilman Fletcher brought up some really good points a while back when we were talking about MDD, and you asked me if it was a conflict sometimes running both boards, council and the board. And after thinking about it, I sort of realized that if I had in a perfect scenario, I would almost like MDD to be a more, I'm not going to go here yet and say I wish it was a completely separate board, but I'd like to start testing the waters of a little bit more autonomy. And I think this is a great first step. And if I'm going to really think that way, then I have to lead by example and say, you know what, let me do this. I'll be willing to step out of my position, and let's see how that goes for a while. And ultimately, who knows, maybe you guys will think, maybe it'd be a good idea for us to step out of our positions, and eventually we may have a completely autonomous MDD board separate of council. And I don't know that that would be a terrible thing. I don't know it'd be a great thing yet either. That's why we're going to take baby steps. But I do think that when you're talking about a board that has the ability to spend that amount of money of the taxpayers' dollars, it's not a bad idea to have some checks and balances in place. So that was the rationale behind it. It doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. Y'all hadn't got rid of me that easy.
I just wanted to say thanks for your confidence. Okay.
Well, and that's really the one point that concerns me with this. I mean, I love Ron and Ted, but I was hoping we would be moving towards a more autonomous board when we rewrote or clarified, should be a better way to put it. We clarified the bylaws that we would be moving. I know we're still trying to recruit talent and keeping us nice and friendly and working with MDD. But I really would like to see us get away from that so that we've got an autonomous board so that we legitimately, when we say we're going to ask MDD to pay for something, it's not a nod and a giggle. It's a legitimate, we're going to have to go before that board and ask them, hey, we'd like you to pay for this road, we'd like you to pay for this sidewalk, we'd like you to pay for this water infrastructure. That's really my only concern with this particular situation here is we had 2, we got down to 1, and now we're back up to 2.
I would agree with that, but I guess I look at it a little bit differently. When you have the same one that's running both meetings.
Oh, I understand,
and that was my thought process was, maybe we don't need the same person, kind of being in both positions.
And with that, I say password, and can we move on?
Mr. Christie, anything?
I'm all about the boards being autonomous as well. So I think, this being the first step and moving towards that autonomy is, I think, what we need to, be making our end goal. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, but this is a good first step. I mean, you just keep that as a goal.
Maybe we start, again, more active recruiting, kind of like we're doing with our hired and paid positions. We actually actively recruit for the MDD. We actively recruit for P&Z, and particularly those 2.
I would agree, and we also might think about paying MDD.
Yeah, I think that might be something like we do with
We pay
P&Z.
P&Z, but we don't pay MDD.
If that would be, and we check on the legality of that, make sure I think that's reasonable, because I think the P&Z, it's.
I agree.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I agree
Okay.
with Mike. I think that we do need to actively recruit, and actually that's what the bylaws say, that the council's supposed to make recommendation to the mayor.
Right.
And then the mayor chooses.
Is it mayor or
So-
president MDD?
It's a presiding member.
Presiding member, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, I think it's the mayor. I think we make recommendation to the mayor, and the mayor.
It's, for MDD, it's the reverse.
Yeah.
The presiding member appoints and the council confirms. And if council doesn't confirm, there's a second appointment.
They've got to try again.
And then
So
the
it's
council
P&Z
can.
that we
it's
make
a-
a recommendation
To
to
the
the
mayor.
mayor.
Yeah.
So we would make a recommendation to the presiding member, and then they would bring it before council.
Yeah, for a first step.
Okay, so I have a motion by Councilman Raymaker, I have a second by Councilman Fletcher. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Councilman Fletcher and Raymaker, for volunteering to serve. Item 14, discussion and possible action to approve revisions to the personnel policy manual.
Council, this is returning to you from the last meeting. We implemented the changes requested at the last meeting, simplified the IT section. I've gotten a couple of comments from Councilmember Raymaker and Fletcher. They caught a couple minor things that need to be corrected, so those will be taken care of. One of them was Councilman Fletcher noted a conflict The tuition reimbursement policy requires a 1 year of service before the employee can access it. The educational loan assistance requires 6 months, so for the sake of consistency, we're going to make everything 1 year. And that either or is fine, but we're going to keep it consistent. And he noted a sentence that needed to be completely stricken that referred to the car allowance, so those will be taken care of. And if you have anything else, we can make those changes too.
I know that we approve of the changes that are mentioned.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilman Fletcher to approve. I have a second by Councilman Raymaker. Do we have any discussion?
Again, other than it's awesome to be rid of the car allowances.
Yeah. It's very, very good. I appreciate the changes that were made. I think we're moving forward. Doesn't mean it's perfect, but it's another step in the right direction.
I agree. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 15, discussion and possible action to adopt the following resolution, a resolution designating the Courier as the official newspaper for the city of Shenandoah, Texas.
Council, this is an annual housekeeping that we have to do by law. The Courier is the only daily.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Christie to approve. Do I have a second?
Yeah, okay.
I have a second by Councilman McLeod. Do we have any discussion?
Is the courier present tonight?
No.
It's surprising.
I think they've just hired somebody new who's going to start coming.
We can try and find another daily.
I would love for another paper to be a daily.
I think that's the consensus.
Yeah, I think we're all there.
Yeah.
This is another place where we're all, we're
All in
hands are tied.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
I knew somebody was going to. Motion carries 3-0. 301. With Councilman Fletcher abstaining. He was the one that held out last. Item 16, discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the September 11th, 2019 regular meeting.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Fletcher to approve.
Second.
I have a second by Councilman McLeod. Do I have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 17, the following budget items were authorized by the city administrator per council approval. You want to go through these, Kathy, or you just want me to read them?
I can just do a quick summary.
Okay.
At the last meeting, we adopted a revised purchasing policy, and we presented to council the idea of listing the items that we were proceeding with, and that's what this list is. So each meeting, we'll do a recap of what's moving on through the process.
I think we should read those for the folks on
All
YouTube.
right. These are CVB items. Travel Click Digital Advertising, $60,000. Live Nation Digital, $40,000. Expedia Travel Ads, $95,000. Conroe ISD Agreement, $25,000.
And to be clear, these are all budgeted items. They're just.
Correct. They're all authorized in the
We decided
budget.
that we'd start putting them on the
Yeah.
agenda for transparency. I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
Those are all CVB expenditures?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move into item 18, which is our second citizens forum. Anybody? Okay. And we will move to item 19, which is city administrator updates.
I just have a few quick ones. Trash Bash is going to be this Saturday from 8 to noon, right over here at the Public Works Building. We are going to be, per the MDD bylaws, we are supposed to have a board designee report to council periodically. So what we're going to try initially is a monthly reporting that lines up with our departmental monthly reports. So the report will cover the previous month's activity. And newly appointed member Raymaker has agreed to present the report to council. Staff will prepare most of the information. It will be brief and to the point. It'll cover current
It will.
financials. Project summary.
I didn't say it would stick to the script.
That's the idea. It'll be a snapshot of the prior month's activity, current financials, project status, so forth. And it'll be good for everybody keep it top of mind what's going on, because it's easy to kind of forget if you're not dealing with it every day. So that's going to be new. And finally, we had great feedback on National Night Out. Sure couldn't beat the weather. So that's all I've got.
Okay, well, with that, we will move to item 20, which is council inquiry, and we'll start with Councilman Raymaker.
Just one thing then, I believe they're coming, but Entergy is going to come and give us an update.
Yes, sir, that's correct. At the next meeting, they're going to be on the agenda. I spoke with Doug McCormick about a week ago, and they're going to give us an update on where they are and the items that they presented back in August.
Okay. That's it.
That's it. Councilman Fletcher.
I'm good tonight.
Councilman Christie.
I just wanted to say to Raymond, you guys did a great job on the National Night Out. That was it was a great evening, and you know, like Kathy said, the weather couldn't have been any better. It was just it was a really, really nice experience. I've talked to several other people in other communities that when you start telling them about our National Night Out and what kind of turnout we get and how many different groups are there and present, they kind of get that look on their face like, well, ours isn't anything like that at all. So you guys do a great job. Every year it's been a success, and we really do appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate staff's help with all of it, because we couldn't do it by ourselves, so it works out. It's a great team effort.
That's all I've got.
Councilman McLeod.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that several of the council members went to TML this past week and got some great information about some of the legal aspects that were going on, some of the legislative updates, some of the changes, and how we can deal with some of the attacks on cities that the past legislature launched. So that was really good. It was good information to have. Once again, thank you for National Night Out. Great feedback. I know everybody who talked to me about it was highly complimentary. It's a fantastic event. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman McLeod. I got a question on TML, Bill, for you. I would assume that it would be okay for a council member if they wanted to write a brief recap email and send it out to the rest of the council members about a particular session that they visited, if they picked up something. I mean, that's not violating any kind of tone when we're not deliberating on anything.
That's correct, as long as you're not asking for feedback. It's a simple report. This is what I observed, this is what I heard, saw. That's fine. And I might comment also, each year at TML, the Texas City Attorneys Association has a meeting. 5.5 hours of it is legal education. Councilman Raymaker attended 2, I think, of the sessions. And in the future, feel free to take a look at what the attorneys are discussing, because you're welcome to come in and sit and listen, even though it's a legal presentation, and that is open and sometimes real useful.
Agreed. Well, I'm not trying to give anybody homework or anything, but if you are so inclined to maybe just kind of summarize if you saw something of interest in one of those sessions. I didn't get to make it to as many sessions as I would like, because I just ended up having a lot of meetings, which were good, they were positive, but meeting with other elected officials while we were there. So I would love to hear feedback on some of the ones that y'all went to. I think it'd be great. The only other thing that I want to mention is I do also think National Night Out went great. You know how much I love community events, and so with that being said, everybody that's listening on YouTube, because we don't have anybody here for the most part, please tell your neighbors about Halloween Safe Streets. That's our next big one coming up. I think it's a great event. It gives our kids a safe place to be able to go trick or treat, and they don't have to worry about going and knocking on somebody's door they don't know and kind of in a weird deal. This is an awesome deal that the city puts out. It's actually one of my favorite things that the city does, because kids love Halloween, and this gives them a great safe place to do it. And I just want to make sure that as many people in the city know about it as possible. So spread the word as much as you can. I know we have it on our website. Do we have the little signs up yet? Are the signs, community signs out yet?
No.
Probably go after trash
We should
bash.
put those out. What's that?
Trash.
When is Trash Bash?
Saturday.
That's this Saturday?
They'll go out Monday.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's no way to get around that. But yeah, I mean, well, it's just, our website, listen, all of us are, we're pretty keen, tuned in on how to get to it. But the average person who doesn't visit it every day might not know that I need to go look for the next community event. So I think we just got to try to shout it from the rooftops and get as many people involved as we can.
Mr. Mayor, we had 15,000 people see it on Facebook.
Awesome. Love social media. Isn't that great? You can get a lot done with social media. Which, not that we need to do it for Halloween Safe Streets, but I still am a fan of maybe in the future we start looking at some geofencing around the city of Shenandoah and doing targeted marketing campaigns on some of these events, so that for people who we are not necessarily members of our Facebook page or one of these other pages where Shenandoah events are posted, they might see it in their news feed because they're geographically located within that geofence. Does that make sense? So just an idea, and they're cheap. I've done a bunch of them. You can hit 1,000 people for $5 in a geofenced area. So that may be one way, future events to just make sure we're getting to as many people as possible. So other than that, though, again, I know Halloween Safe Streets will be great. National Night Out was I appreciate the weather. You did a good job with the weather.
Thanks for calling.
Good job on the weather, Ben.
So anyway, that's all I had. Okay, so with that, we will move into executive session then. And we're going to recess the regular meeting at 7:29. And we are going to move into executive session to have consultation with our attorney on pending litigation, PHSH versus City of Shenandoah, and OHAH Limited DBA Oak Haven Apartment Homes versus LNG Builders. And we will break for the executive session. Thanks.